Hi, and welcome to Cooking with Positivity. I'm your host, Zakia McCoy. And here we like to focus on positivity leading to success, whether that be in your business, in your love life, or whatever your case may be. Now, I'm very excited because we're continuing our Men's Entrepreneur Month. I'm going to be interviewing Dwayne, the credit man Reid. I'm super excited. So I just want to give you guys some updates on what I got going on. And then I'm going to go ahead and read our monthly positivity poem. And then we're going to get into our interview. Now, I'm super excited to be writing for Tasty Thursdays on IamChicInspires.com. And I will be giving you reviews on my favorite restaurants I've visited recently or giving you recipes. And I also have Sweet Treat Saturdays that I do on Facebook. I'm going to once a month doing the Sweet Treat Saturdays and just giving you guys a refresh on all of the Sweet Treat Saturday videos I've already done. And I also do Monday mornings. Super excited about that. I cook brunch. It's my favorite meal time of the day. And I also do that from Facebook. And I've started a segment called Fetch Meals, 3 to 5 ingredients on YouTube. So make sure you guys go check that out. And I also have a few books on Amazon. I have the 15 in 15-minute meals available on Amazon. It's a cookbook for people who need to spruce up their everyday menus or just need something quick to cook and they don't have all day to spend in the kitchen. So great meals, great ideas. And I get a lot of the recipes that I share on here from that cookbook that I wrote. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and read our positivity poem so we can get to our interview. Positivity leads to strength. When you are strong, you have might. Might gives you determination. Determination gives you the unwitting nerve to succeed. Positive drive motivation, a delicious recipe to succeed in every aspect of life. Now, Dwayne Reid AKA the Credit Man Reid is the founder and CEO of Reid Financial Solutions. Established in 2007, Dwayne has taken his knowledge of the credit industry and providing his clients with the education and services they need to gain a clean slate, offering individual packages and services such as credit building and credit repair. When Dwayne is not busy helping others clean up their credit, he is busy being a father and husband. Are you looking to take an adventure without leaving your home? Do you need to get out of the doghouse or spruce up your website? It may be time for you to check out Zakia McCoy, the author, with tons of books on Amazon, from fiction to cookbooks, also providing editing services, special occasion poems, content writing for personal emails, websites, and blogs. You can check out Zakia McCoy on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Zakia McCoy, the author, on Facebook, and Word Lovers Welcome blog. Hi, Dwayne. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, how are you? Sorry, I couldn't understand how to use this thing, man. It's kind of confusing.
Hey, understandable. I have issues with most of the apps that I use on a daily basis, so I understand.
Okay, cool. What's going on? How are you?
So far, so good.
Okay,
Day isn't
cool.
over yet, but I'm very optimistic. Things are going to keep going good.
Exactly.
Now, how did you find your way into the credit business?
So this is a great story. I'm making a long story short though. When I was 19, actually no, it started when I was 17. When I was in high school, a friend of mine, he used to help people start business credit because back in the day, it was easy to start business credit. And what people would do is they would start business credit, run it up and then bankrupt it, and they would do this over and over again until Bush came in and changed the bank.
Are you still there?
Yeah, so I had a call. Let me put on the what you call it. Okay, so until they changed the bankruptcy law. So what we did was, what we used to do, we used to go downtown and get like the business names and make sure the names was available, and he used to pay us to do that. So then one day I just asked him, I said, "What is this for?" And then he ended up giving me a book to read. So I read the book, and it was all about credit. And I remember after reading the book, I was like, "Man, credit is a ripoff. Why would anybody want to? Why would anybody want credit?" So then, just then what happened? My mother tried to get a car. She couldn't get a car because her credit was bad. So then, she came to me complaining one day saying how her credit was bad and she can't get the car that she wants. And I was like, "Oh, well, I can get you credit. I can fix your credit." And she said, "What you know about fixing credit?" So I fixed her credit for her. So then she came. Then my father, after she got her car, my father came to me and said, "Hey, I heard you know how to fix credit." And then pretty much the rest is history.
Now, this was at 17. That is crazy young.
Yeah, 17, and I fixed their credit when I was 19. And I didn't really get into the whole credit thing. I used to do it, just like family members. I didn't realize how important it was at the time, because they didn't teach you this stuff at school, and I had bad credit.
Definitely not.
I couldn't get nothing. I had bad credit. I didn't understand nothing about it as far as what it was used for. I just knew how it worked, and then I understood the dispute process, and then pretty much I think it was in 2006. What happened was I met this girl. She introduced me to this guy, and this guy he invited me every Saturday. I used to go to his house, and he would have a bunch of people there to fix their credit, and they would pay me $100 a person. So I used to just go there every Saturday and just fix credit, fix credit, fix credit, not even realizing what I was doing. Then one day I was on the Parkway, and I remember I had my '93 Toyota Camry. This is in 2005. I had my '93 Toyota Camry, and I was we was in traffic, and a brand new BMW 645 pulled up next to me, and the guy said, "Thanks, credit man," and pulled off, and it was one of the guys that I helped fix his credit. So I thought to myself, I said, why am I driving a '93 Camry? He's driving a brand new BMW. So then something told me go home and research the whole credit thing, and that's when I realized, that this whole credit was $1 billion industry and what it was used for, and that's when I kind of woke up and really, started taking it seriously.
And is that when you decided to work for yourself?
Well, I started working for myself 3 years ago. What the whole work with myself thing was cool. It was an idea I always had, but I never thought I could actually do it. And then until I found myself not being able to spend time with my family, what really made me realize I had to do it was when I was one day I came home and my daughter was running towards me and she fell. And when she fell, she ended up scraping her knee. And as she got up, and I put my hands up to pick her up. I put my hands up to pick her up, and she ran right past me and ran upstairs to her mother. So that pretty
Oh,
much
wow.
told me that I wasn't spending enough time at home because I was working and doing the credit thing on the weekends. So then I realized that I had to start changing things up, and I had to do it full time. And then one day, I found every reason in the world not to do it full time because that fear is real when you're trying to, go in your home.
Definitely.
And then one day my wife was like, "Nah, you gotta quit your job." I was like, "Right now?" She's like, "Yeah, right now." So I ended up quitting my job. That night I called my boss, told him that I couldn't do this anymore, and he understood. And then he said, "Okay, we'll put your 2 weeks notice in." Then they tried to offer me a part time position, and everything just went left at the job, and I ended up just leaving like 3 weeks later. And I've been
Oh,
doing it
wow.
full time ever since.
Now, how has positivity affected your success?
Say that again.
How has positivity affected your success?
Well, I've always been a positive guy, so it's like I always feel like I can do whatever I set my mind to, whatever I accomplish. So um, always I've always had positivity in my life. So it's like I can't even tell you how it affected my success because I never really thought like negative. You know what I mean? I always been the positive person with everything. Every situation that I'm in, I always trying to find a positive with it. So
Okay.
the
Now, what three things should people know about credit?
one, how it's very important, and when I say it's very important, it's tied to everything. And when I say tied to everything, I mean everything. You want to get an apartment, they're gonna run your credit. You want to get a car, they're gonna run your credit. You want to buy a house, they're gonna run your credit. You want to get life insurance, you want to get car insurance, they're gonna run your credit. Credit is tied to everything. It's only getting worse. You have more and more people attaching themselves to your credit history. For instance, if you want to get a job now, a lot of financial companies won't even look at you until they look at your credit report. You can have the years, the experience, the education, everything. But if you don't have the credit, you'll get denied for that. And I know a couple people that got denied because of their credit. So one is very important. Two, they need to at least understand the basics of credit. And when I say the basics, everyone should know that you pay your bills on time, and everyone should know about your credit card balances. That's the basic of credit. And I find that a lot of people don't even know that. And three, let me see, one, two, three. The last thing about credit, everybody should know their score. That's very important. There's no reason why you should not know your score. And I meet people daily, and I ask them, simple question: when was the last time you looked at your credit report? People tell me 2, 3 years ago, and I don't understand how you survive without knowing your credit. And that usually tells me that they're not doing nothing. They're not buying houses. They're not buying cars. And if they are buying cars, they're just going in and getting whatever the dealer gives them. Because if you don't know your credit score, your chances are it's bad. That's why you don't know it. Because it's probably dropped and you didn't want to look at it no more. So everyone should know their credit score. Everyone should know the basics of how credit works. Everybody should know how important credit is.
Right now, I know what my credit karma credit score is, but after watching your lives, I know that that's not the accurate credit score.
Yeah.
So
Credit karma,
it could
there's a couple issues with Credit Karma's credit score because there's a couple things that they don't look at in the calculation. That's the problem. They don't look at the age of your credit report, which is a big deal on FICO. Because I've seen people with a year or two worth of history and a 750 on Credit Karma, then you go on FICO, they were 610. Another thing they don't respect is your debt to credit ratio, which is how much credit you actually use compared to your credit card limits. I've seen people max out credit cards and pay the whole card off, and their score go up 20 points. So that's how I know Credit Karma is not accurate. It tends to be more accurate the higher it goes, but again, they don't look at the age of the credit report, so that's always the issue. But Credit Karma, I usually tell people anything that's free is usually not good for you. So you need to pay for a real credit score.
And I've done that, so I'm good on that part now. What song keeps you positive? Like if you're having a bad day or you just need to clear your head, what song does that for you?
You said a song?
Yeah.
I don't really, I don't really have a song like that. Usually, let me see what song. I don't really listen to music when I'm having a bad day. I'm push through it. Music is not really my thing like that. I mean, I like music, but it's not really my go-to. When I'm feeling when I had a hard day. Let me see, what do I have a song? I can't really think about no songs right now that I would like a go-to song. I don't really have that. It's a good question too. Wow, I've never thought about that before. Now I gotta get a go-to song.
I feel like everybody has that. They just don't realize it sometimes. Like I just gave you a name last week. You gave me a list.
I can't hear you going out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but you sound high now.
How about now?
Yeah, it sounds a little better.
Okay. I just interviewed last week, and he had a list of songs. And I feel like everybody has a song, but they don't realize they have.
Yeah, you're probably right. I probably never noticed it before.
Now, how can credit change lives? I know that it's important, but I see on your website you're changing lives out here.
Well, it's literally life changing. Let me start with the basics, right? Because I think a car. Usually, people equate good credit to getting a nice car, right? Usually, that's what people think about when they think about good credit. So when you were just walking into the dealership with bad credit and good credit is a totally different experience. A lot of people that walk into a dealership with bad credit, they're dependent on the dealership. They're dependent on the sales guy. They usually get taken advantage of because they don't have any other choice but to get taken advantage of. They end up leaving the dealer feeling like they got beat up. But, they don't feel good about their purchase because they didn't have much say in their purchase. A lot of times the dealership will tell you what car they're going to sell you. And they tell you what price you're going to buy this car at. You pretty much have no leg room, right? And when you have good credit, you go into the dealership confident because you know what your credit score is. The dealer, once they see your credit score, they know that they don't got to do much work to get you approved. They know what bank is going to approve you. So it's less work for you, less work for them, and all of a sudden you start seeing all these perks coming out because now they know that when a person has good credit, they don't have to come to your dealership. So you have to make them feel like they made the right choice. As opposed to the person that has bad credit, they're like, hey, you came here, this is what we could do for you, take it or leave it. So it's a completely different, it's completely different. Like, it's a different feeling to know that, let's say you get an apartment, you need furniture. You know you're going to get approved. There's nothing in your head saying, man, what if they don't approve me? You know you're going to get approved, right? And as opposed to somebody who just gets an apartment and, they can't get furniture because their credit is shot. Or let's say, you want to start a business. If you have good credit, you can build business credit up fast. So that'll help your business to thrive. So if you need income or you need a loan or you need credit cards, you can get all of that day one. As opposed to, being in business a whole bunch of years before anybody will even look at you, to give you credit. So credit literally puts you in a different mindset, puts you in a different position, makes you feel better, makes you feel more confident about yourself, just knowing that you have the credit. Let's say something happens. Let's say, God forbid, you have children and, your child needed surgery, and you know how insurance is these days. You might have to pay $5,000-6,000 out your pocket. When you have good credit, you can just go and get a loan, pay what you got to pay, and all is well. As opposed to somebody with bad credit, they don't have that option. That option is not available to them. Right, so credit literally changes your life. So when I say that, people think I'm just trying to sell a product, but they don't understand. I'm actually selling a lifestyle. Like, it's more like a lifestyle that I'm selling. Like, talk to people that had good credit and then now they have they have bad credit, now they have good credit. Their whole mindset changes. Like, all of a sudden they want to buy a house. All of a sudden they want to go get trade their car and get a nicer car. All of a sudden now they want to look for that that apartment that they always wanted. All of a sudden they want to apply for this job that they always wanted that they couldn't get because of their credit. It's like it opens so many doors for you, so it literally changes your mind. It changes your life. So that's why I always tell people this, and they always look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, you won't see, and they always say you're right.
Now, how important is it for a business owner or entrepreneurs to have business credit?
A business credit can help your business credit is made really for one thing, right? It's made for your everyday business, and it's made to carry you over a slow point. So that's why a lot of businesses thrive off credit lines. So what happens is they might run their payroll off of a credit line, and when the business is slow, they have that credit line to lean back on, so they can continue paying their employees for a couple months before they got to worry about anything. You know what I mean? By that time, things then pick back up and they're back on track. Because every business has busy seasons and slow seasons, so that's why you want credit. Now, companies that don't have business credit, or a small business that don't have business credit, when times get hard, they fail. Like, there is no, they can't afford for times to get hard because they fail because they don't really realize the importance of credit. I feel like credit is like a system in place that's there to help you, but a lot of people don't want to do their due diligence to go out there and find out how it works, how it could benefit them. They feel like it's just a headache. I'd rather just use cash. I'd rather use cash. I'd rather use cash. What happens when there's no more cash? Right? Like, I meet clients daily that tell me, oh, I do everything cash. I'm like, well, that's not the right way to do things. You're not getting credit for anything. Because you can pay on cash, you can pay things cash all you want on time. You're not getting no credit for it. The minute you want credit, they're gonna look at you like you never bought nothing in your life. So business credit is very important for every business. That's what I'm trying to push, the whole business credit thing. But again, sometimes it's hard to get to our people and let them know that this stuff is important for them, because they don't really understand it until they need it. That's when they realize how important it is, when they're in the jam, and that's when they need it. And that's the worst time to need it, because you don't have the time to wait, because it is a process.
Definitely.
Mm.
Now, do you cook?
I tried once. I don't have the patience to cook, man. Cooking is, you gotta have patience to cook. Anything that involves patience, I can't do it. Painting,
Oh,
cooking, I can't do it. Even I'll sit down and read a book, and after a while, I'll just get tired of it. So I can only read a certain amount of hours, a certain amount of minutes. I mean, before I get
oh
tired of
wow.
it, I can't do nothing that requires patience.
Well, what is your favorite meal to eat then? We won't go with cooking.
Well, I like spaghetti and meatballs. I like salmon with brown rice. I love fried chicken, but I kind of stopped eating that stuff because it's not really good for you. Um, yeah, it's a struggle. It's a daily struggle. Pizza, of course. I think that's everybody's favorite. And another thing I love to eat is cheeseburgers, which I cut back on that too. So pretty much anything junk food, is my favorite.
Junk food. Spaghetti and salmon are pretty good.
Yeah, that's the after. That's what I learned to eat after I put the junk food down. So I started finding things I actually like, because I would never give that stuff a chance, because I was hooked on junk food. But now that I'm kind of off it, I mean, I eat it every now and then, and I like Chipotle too. little rice bowl with the black beans and the lettuce and chicken and all that.
My friend loves Chipotle. She keeps trying to get me to eat there.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
good.
have not.
Not bad at all.
Now, what 3 things do people get wrong when it comes to credit?
Everybody thinks they can fix credit themselves. 99% of the time they can't because, for one, most people don't understand how a credit report score is calculated. So how can you fix a score when you don't know how the score is calculated? Two is they think the cheaper the service, the better. For some reason, they think that they can get a cheap repair service and it's going to give them good results. Again, nothing that's free or cheap is usually not good for you. And another thing is people think that don't realize, they think that just because they got a credit card, they're supposed to use the whole thing. They don't realize that, you want to maintain that 30% or less. But they think that just because they used it one time, it shouldn't drop their score. But they don't care how much time you go over your 30%. The minute you go over 30%, your score is going to drop. That's like the rule.
Wow. See, I'm learning something new already, as I did not know the 30% rule.
Exactly. A lot of people, and I thought that was like a common rule, but a lot of people don't know about that rule. And that paying your credit on time is 35% of your credit calculation, and maintaining 30% or less is 30%. So if you follow just those 2 rules, you have a decent credit score. Just with those 2 rules alone.
See, I'm like most people. I grew up not knowing about credit.
Yeah.
My
I'm trying to change that.
experience with credit was bad. So I've been working to get my credit to where I need it to be.
Yeah.
Now, what are you working on now?
I'm currently writing my first book, which I'm almost done with the rough draft. It's pretty much gonna be about credit. It's gonna pretty much how I feel credit works. I don't want to say like a credit book, but just based off my experience as a credit repair person. I'm gonna write about credit and how it works and how it's calculated, and and then I'm working on that right now. I'm also just running my business, maintaining that. And I'm also I'm in the middle of purchasing a space for my business so I can expand and open up like a office, like a real office. So that's what I'm currently
That's
working on now.
amazing. Now, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I would have told my younger self to look up credit repair when I was 19 and not when I was 26.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
I
good
think
advice.
that would have gave me 5 years head start, at least.
Now, what 3 tips would you give to someone who wants to improve their credit?
Um, having good credit is all about your habits. A lot of times people have bad credit because they don't have good habits. So the first thing I would tell you is make sure you pay all your bills that report to your credit on time. Secondly, when it comes to credit cards, if you cannot afford to pay it off, do not buy things on your credit card. That's just because you have the money on your credit card. Credit cards are very expensive money. And 3 is specifically for my ladies. You can't, if you have a shopping problem, the worst thing you could do is walk around with your credit cards in your pocket. That's the worst thing you can do because as soon as you see something you want, you're gonna buy it. There's nothing there in between your hand and your credit card because it's right there in your pocketbook. You need to leave all your credit cards at home and only walk around with your debit card and maybe one credit card. So that way, when you see something that you want, by the time you go home, get the card and get back in the car, you had time to think about, do you really need that or not?
I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah,
My first credit
a lot of
card,
women can.
mostly shoes and clothes.
Exactly. And that's the worst thing to buy with credit cards. That's the worst thing to buy. Anything. I always tell people another one. I'm gonna throw an extra one in here. Don't buy nothing that you can eat or that you wear on a credit card. Because
Wow.
even if you save money on it, by the time you pay the interest and all that stuff, you paid way more, than you would have paid.
See, where were you when I got my first credit card? I needed this information.
That's what I'm trying to put. I'm trying to put all this stuff out here. People are mad at me these days for doing this, but it is what it is.
I know. I follow you on live faithfully, so I
Yeah.
see a lot of the negative energy that's
Yeah,
thrown
it's
your way.
crazy. It's like the bigger I get, the more, the more hate I get. But it comes with the territory, so I'm not mad at it.
That's what they say. How can the people get in contact with you? What are your usernames and handles and all of that fun stuff?
Well, I'm on Instagram. Reid Financial Solutions is the name of my company, so that's also the name of my Instagram. But it's Reid_Financial_Solutions with an S. I'm on Facebook, same thing, Reid Financial Solutions. If they want to email me, you can email me at cleanslate, which is my old name, I didn't update that yet. But Clean Slate, C is in credit, R is in repair. So Clean Slate CR at yahoo.com. Those are the easiest ways to get in touch with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a positive rest of your evening.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me on. Thank you for working with me. I know today turned out to be a very hectic day. Usually my
Hey,
Wednesdays are free, but not today for some reason.
understandable.
Okay.
I'm a mom, so I do all of that. I have to change up stuff too, so I get it.
Cool. Exactly. I appreciate you for having me on.
No problem.
All right, cool. Let me know when you post it so I can share it.
I definitely will.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks.